Something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my farmland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Had a little bit of a micro kind of setup happen there. I don't trade the tick chart, but like if you consider this like an opening range, the gap fill, we went down and then tried to trade the VWAP again here. The head of lower, I mean, I'd take it with a great assault. I'm not trading that right now. In fact, I'm a little cautious on the short side right now. Just because we're still flirting with all-time highs in so many of those levels. Those bigger levels right now, but we shall see. Do you think there's something to be said here if it's starting to catch a little bit of support? Just looking at the tape, kind of trying to get a barometer for what volume's kind of trading today. It's a little lighter in volume. Right now, I'm in an opening range, 30,000, 35 on the low side. Decent. I used to wait for that 10-minute opening range to set up and break. There's not much to do here, folks, but wait and see what the market provides. I hope everybody's having a great day. We'll just pray and close out in the money on that competition today, but that's okay.
to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. Yeah. We are heroes tonight. We will fly above the sky. We are heroes tonight. I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
There's a distance between us. It's getting hard to reach out. Haven't seen you in seasons, but all I hear is your voice. I know my limits. You can break me down, but I'll stay till the finish line. And I've been counting.
Folks, I'm not counting that as a 10-minute opening range break. That's a little light right into that double bottom on the low there. Frankly, I just don't trust it. This is a setup. I could be totally wrong on that. Want to see one more, flush of that kind of on it.
We got millions of reasons to let it all go. Hope we're not too broken. I know I'm not always strong, and I've been counting days to get away, to see you again, see you again. Been fighting ways to get away, to see you again, see you again.
Definitely trust the lawns a little bit more in this environment, but I mean, we're not there to pick and choose at the end of the day. It was a perfectly good short out for any day. But the break of that low into the end of the day, or not breaking it per se, did not, doesn't sit with near the break of the 10-minute opening range just yet. So let this cook a little bit. There will be a setup, but very clear dialogue with the market that I don't think setting up just yet.
I'm on my own, broken alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. No point in blaming you, you did not know. Oh, I thought you were the one for me.
And we kind of see why I wasn't trusting of that. I mean, obviously we're back with the view up. Doesn't mean anything. We could still go down to flush lows and then set up for that short, but at this point I much prefer to have push above the highs and then a retracement thereof. I mean, that yes, this market wants to behave. Give us a nice setup tonight. Hope everybody's having a good evening. Back at the library. Let's see if we can get through action tonight before hockey. Yeah, for sure here. Scott, they kind of getting a little bit of absorption, and acceptance back above the view up here. Let's check like at participation. Those little volume candles. Let's see if, we see that happening too. Okay, not great volume, but the volumes are pretty anemic this whole session. So I would like to see more 100 cars over contracts, just a fancy way of saying a trader pair. Otherwise, we could end up flushing back below the view up and taking out most of the day. Hate to see that happen. If this is still a bull market, it becomes a difficult trade. Alright, well, let's see. That was a decent little volume push. I got 100 contract 1 minute candles, pretty big so far. So if this volume bar, we kind of pick it back up and get back above that VWAP, there's a pretty good shot of it, sweeping back to the highs of the day. If it doesn't, and this is the start of a move lower, well, we got something to watch for if it takes out lows of the day and gives us a Forcesweep. Going back the other way, right? But waiting for that 10-minute opening range to still break. We're still chopping and diddling in the middle, so to speak. Really just playing with where we settled and closed up here yesterday. You may taste on the 15-minute candles are setting up to kind of take out the lows, maybe start a trend lower, so let's see what happens.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see.
Market trades back up into the VWAP here. Well, a little hesitant right about the short side in this market, but without a solid break those lows at 10-minute opening range. Break to me wasn't substantial enough to have convinced me to be a seller here, even though, hey, all intents and purposes, it got a reaction, but Vincent's the harsh where I think this market might, do something. Maybe this is me predicting the like breaking this trend line and taking it back up to new highs. That's the kind of a forced push idea, which we don't cover too much, but I will start talking about in trading a little more often. But the idea here is that you want to see the volume and participation just basically getting absorbed. Some active seller getting absorbed below the VWAP. But let's see if we can justify like what that looks like, just to kind of talk through it. Because that'll show, like, a little more bull-side dominance. So you can see this point of control, these volume over basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles here. You accumulated all of these sellers down around this 30, 42 figure. They just kept selling it down, and somebody was just passively kind of buying it up. And then you all of a sudden had this 69, 100, this volume pushed back up to the VWAP. Now what you're going to want to see is actually the 100 solid 100 contract trade as it breaks back above the VWAP, kind of like it did here, that first test back to it. And if you get that kind of move up, it's holding on above it, and then starts to push you in to break this high, and you're above this trend line. But that's the type of phase. It's kind of a literal cup and like handle formation for me right now with setup that produces a short squeeze, and then now you have all of these. And if you look at the 15-minute candles now under these volume bars, you can see that the points of control, for the majority of it here has been at, down there at 42 and here at 49. So you've got a lot of sellers now that are now the squeeze for the move to back highs of the day. And that's the essence of the forced push, right? It's some kind of move lower, head fake lower, even a reaction at their selling level, and then, absorption that effectively then results in a squeeze, up to and through the highs. We're not saying you should be a buyer here, but, that's kind of what I'd figure a move back to the highs of the day. If that happens, again, if we go down through lows, we're going to have a Forcesweep or short setup, breaking of the 10-minute overview range. Who cares, right? But with positive CVE kind of, since the open, we're going to do this participation now and maybe acceptance. Well, we need to see a little more participation and acceptance above the VWAP. All of a sudden, these candles wicks here for the day, this first 15-minute candle wick becomes kind of the target. With a target on its back for the short squeeze. And it's coming on up here. Let's see if that little push right now has a little volume to it. Little something. Okay, we're 30, 50 seconds through or halfway through this minute, and that is about all. We're on pace for, well, it needs to do a little more volume here, but on pace for about 100 contracts, which that's good acceptance in the non-core 8, but you expect these numbers to start picking up pace here when the kind of that volume push comes through. We can, of course, still sell off right down through lows in the day and set up in a Forcesweep short, but we're going to be patient for that. And the same thing through highs, right? I'm just trying to anticipate and get ready for either side of that break of the range, right? And talk through some of the things we can look at and discuss in the middle, right, while we're filling time. Yeah, I mean, it desperately needs movement dies. And I mean, genuinely, I kind of think it could be. Yeah, I mean, this one might work out. Right, like those that got short on that little head fake of a break kind of thing, it may or may not work out. I think we have good. I probably would trail stops, right? To 61 or something, maybe even to this high shortly. Even more, right? There was nothing that says it can. I'm worrisome that was barely a break. It was much more of a head fake to me. Kind of held this afternoon low. That's why I look at contextually, some of these other levels that we are trading into the afternoon. What's the range that we're chopping in? But by all means, if we go straight down to lows, it's only 15 points away. That can happen in a part B. Well, I guess it's 20 points away. I can have it in a 1 minute candle if it wants. And to be fair, we could be up in highs of the day too in that time frame. So let's see. We're slipping back a little to VWAP now. So lots of tails. I mean, this now looks like it's going to go to lows. Well, I said we're to hold like right here and now and pop higher. This could catch some momentum lower. Breaking the day, look at the 15-minute low of 44.5. Turns this candle bearish. Yeah. I mean, here I am. I feel like I'm narrating, watching graphical grow, excuse me. Because till we're above, 77 quarter, below, solidly below, probably 31 quarter, 31 3/4. I see a high probability of this range continuing, and yeah, I've spent a lot of time below the VWAP without any progress lower. So that's not a usually good sign either. And that's true of any indicator, right? Any trend line or moving average you look at. You know, the more time it spends on one side of it without making progress, well, we shall see. But at this point, we're back in the middle of the range for the most part. I assign pretty even odds to it going either way. And like I said, you know, okay, back above the new up now with some volume and pushing above these highs, I assign much higher odds for it going to highs because of just the nature of the game. What I have witnessed these markets be slow and arduous and chop around and all of a sudden start something right later in the game when we're not, maybe not when we're not expecting it, but like, Dave, be interested to see what happens here. But it's going to pick a direction here soon, folks. And again, another reason maybe I have a little bit of a bias for highs and markets moving higher. Yesterday was a pretty bullish day worth of price action. We had all-time highs. We're flirting above 30,000 on the NASDAQ. As always, resistance feels like it's up when you look at the bear time frame. But that doesn't mean you can't have a Forcesweep short. You know, that works just fine. This little pullback we're seeing right now into the VWAP. Just that one little minute we just saw. What we're seeing right now. Let's focus in and see what it looks like in terms of participation up here above the VWAP now. So we're starting to get those points of control. Is 1 minute candles above the VWAP. 87 is not huge. I would have preferred to see that be a little bit more. No, more conviction, more convinced. But so long as we maintain above the VWAP for a couple minutes here, build that acceptance, I think you're going to start to see some of that volume build and push higher. It's just the nature. There it goes. Yeah. Yup. We shall see. Didn't know what that was. Alright, so that actually took out the prior 15. You kind of want to, like, I would say if it closed over 61, pretty good chance it'll get back to the highs, but seemed like it's starting back up here. Yeah, but right back down into the VWAP now. If it can't get below and kind of flush to the lows, it might find support here. Let's see. If not, it's not a great looking 15-minute candle still. And that's that is some nasty volume. But you have to remember where the point of control is way up here. So if it retakes 57.50 and back up to 60s here, on decent volume, this is just a failed attempt to break lower and absorption of both absorption and acceptance above the VWAP, because now it's acceptance being like in the direction of that trend, right? I mean, we're also, right, all of this is looking at micro time frames at 1 minute. A lot of these things can change when a 1,000-lot trader comes in and splashes the pot, right? Like, this is not much volume. That type of trader, a big institution, can move this market. I mean, it doesn't exactly work that way, but, you know, what I'm saying is volume is still fairly light. And, anything can still happen today, but at least as we read the tape as it's developing, you know, I see CV building, holding area, and absorbing into the VWAP. Spike, you know, CV coming back up as we push the 64s. I mean, it's just how things develop for a move to highs. Likewise, we get back below the VWAP here after this volumetric volume push, and I mean, honestly, all of this volume above the VWAP all of a sudden becomes fodder, or, you know, the squeeze lower, the sell-off, the fire sale down into lows, right? So these narratives can shift either way. But I don't know if you guys it goes too. I mean, it's got a bit of a trend line here. It wouldn't take much to all. There it goes. Like I said, it would not take much for it to slam down here, although it kind of gap lower. Let's see what happens here. If this gets retraced quickly, that could be the... Oh, this is into the 15-minute close, too. Look at that. You got 30 seconds to go into this top of the 15-minute close. They're window dressing that 15-minute candle. Everyone else, this market's kind of sees up on him here. Well, looks like they're going to try to do it here. Push that low in the day. Are they going to do it? We shall see. Pretty shy market though, right? 2 attempts to break back above the VWAP on eventful, and then somebody came in and window dressed that 15-minute candle. Which, okay, if you get back up there, not a good look for the shorts, but right now, I'm kind of curious as to why we didn't just flush the lows here. Comes down for another test of lows and can't do it there. What is going on? Is this a strange 15-minute can? I mean, I fully anticipated taking out the lows here for you guys, but you'd be disappointed if I missed the trade for the day. But I'm glad you all will have had it. Doesn't hurt to take a profit, right? If if it's, you know, I'm sure the second you fellows and ladies and gentlemen do, it will go down there, but you know, it's almost there. There it goes. Well done to those that took it. That's a 10-15 minute opening range break, perhaps lower here. Sure, now this next time I'm not going to be so lucky, but better count that as a 15-minute range break low now.
Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Damn. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Just saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters. Tell me where they at. I'm the new pop. All I do is rap, though. Want me on your song? Throw a couple steps, yo. Everybody wanna do the same thing. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
The seller paired 50 quarter. A retracement back into the VWAP for the day. You guys know the drill. Many of you probably already scored it. A win for the day there. Good work. Let's see what the rest of the session brings you.
And I've been chillin', watching the ocean with you. Baby, up with a slow motion crew. And we up in our cloudlands when people change, but not us. And we just chillin', kicking it, kissed by the sun. Could be soaked to the skin in the mall soon. I know she got the good vibes when seasons change, but we're the same. Even if I lost all my money, the zero runs deep, honey. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. Even if my jokes aren't funny, my tongue tied up on it. And I don't need to speak a single word, 'cause you got me holding, holding. 'Cause you got me holding, holding. Cause you got me holding.
Yeah, sorry about that, folks. I had something else in front of the screen, and apparently, again, that keeps it from updating, but at least you can see the Ninja Trader there running. You know, I did sell the Globex Forcesweep here. Well, sold the V1, I should say. Then I sold like 85 tick target with an 85 tick stop. Braid 2850 target, 7150. 71 stop maybe. Let's see what happens. Nothing to do left, but let it did stop up our target opposite, trying to trail stops and do all the things we try to do to maximize on the trade. But let's see what she provides tonight. But yeah, I am short. I do hate these trades that sometimes fight that all-time high, but at the end of the day, we've had a short this week already that worked out well. So negative CVD, right? Market kind of sold off a little bit into the lows of the day. Into the negative CVD, I'm not seeing much in the way from the book or the bulletin participation here. That makes me fearful we're going to go higher. Let's take a look at that volume participation. You can see nice 94 contracts up, but man, wham, right? It's just stopped dead in its tracks at the VWAP for the most part here. So we're getting some absorption into the VWAP. Hopefully that continues, and it's all it needs to continue for this market to then, sell off down into lows. Oh no, I've seen it come back above, but we'll see what happens. Yo, I hate this bounce so much. But they're gonna be okay there. I thought we were gonna be okay there. I mean, we still could be, but not really. I mean, really not what you want to see, right? We get a good reaction. There's a little bit of trend line here. Want to see that broken against the lows, right? That will ultimately lead to the flush. To the flush of those lows, I think. But here we're coming back up above the EWAP. This is the time of the trade that I usually feel like I should be bailing on it. But we really don't want to risk above 63. The swing high. We'll take our stop down to 63.25. I sure that hope they don't hunt me out there, but they might. Kind of hoping they just hold it right here. Oh man. So this is where, right, like you've traded a system for so long, you try to trade it and stay true to the system, but then, like, you know, your opinion of the matter, yeah, this 113, it's awful. I'm glad many of you might have already taken that first one, but the second one is not looking too strong. Well, actually, the market looks strong. The prospects of it heading down into a new low is not looking so strong. Get back to the every wire, make me feel a little bit more comfortable, please, Mr. Market. I've cut a risk in like half, so it's a $200 risk at this point. Not that I should be diminishing it, but like a little more comfortable with stop if it gets bit. This is a situation where now, like, okay, you wonder, do you get out and then you get back in on a break of one of these, you know, kind of micro trend lines, right? And ultimately, it looks like it's going to wreck down. It sets a view up, but if it's still stack low, I'm feeling okay. But, you know, I always ask myself, like, oh, should I have taken a break-even stop? And then you get back on, you know, with the momentum lower here, which would be like a push below, you know, back down to 46 or something. Or even maybe as high as like 48, but I'm in the trade. I trailed stops. I'm feeling comfortable with that was where I trailed and I stopped. Because now I feel like if it goes up there while holding above the view up, I don't want to have anything to do with this. But at least I gave myself another chance for it to come back below the view up. And we can flush this trend line here, kind of trying to, we're at it. Well, I'm going to truth her, folks. If we can break this, I think we go to new lows. And then I got myself a trade for the night. But we'll be back with you tomorrow. See what happens. That's 3 long 15-minute tail wicks, though. Or, in fact, it's a field. But I mean, this is some takeout lows. This is one heck of a bear trap at this point. Might even consider trailing my stop down to, you know, 59.25 here of this most recent top, but I don't think I'll do that until we're below this trend line and making it a dive for lows. And then at that point, honestly, probably just break even. But I got a good feeling about this right here, right now, if it can push just a little bit lower. Got 2 more minutes on this 15-minute candle, actually a minute and 30 seconds, so the last candles, they really went to adjust into that final moment. So what they might be doing that here. You know, minute 15. Hopefully it doesn't go the other way. Wait, 45 seconds. Took the trade where I'm tempted to even mark it in and sell another one here. Take it down for the 15 points into lows. If I won't tonight, I'll be a bit bored. But if this was like in the middle of the nicey session or at any other point in the day where market's a little faster, I think there's momentum you could capture here below 45. But we're basically a stop right here at 43.75. I mean, we can put a line there and pretend. But every time you put a line there and pretend, it of course works out really well if it goes. But you can actually put an order there, right? Wow. That's not the window dressing into the end of that 15-minute candle I expected, but they decide to break it here at the start of the next 15-minute candle. Not the lows of the prior yet. Those are going to be taken out here. Again, below 39 quarters, so that's kind of the level to beat to the downside. A little bit of a head and shoulders, head of shoulder, maybe the right shoulder right there. Needless to say, be the chance of the flush here if it can just get going. Love the bounce. I tell ya. Right back up some test of VWAP, pushing above it a little bit. Do not like the look of that. It is that 100 tick chart a revisit of that trend line. So I'm not freaking out just yet, but it's not bad. Right shoulder for what's the form that right shoulder I just mentioned. We got to skedaddle down to 30,040 here really soon and take out that 15-minute low. Otherwise, this is, man, that are not letting it drop today. Yeah, I mean, I'm tempted to bring my stop down here. Down to 60s, I think. Not so certain I want this trade anymore because it's just not going the way we're wanting in the time frame that I wanted it to there. But I suppose it's still below the range, recent range low highs. Or range highs, I should say. I hate for it to go up there and take me, so I'm gonna leave it at 63 quarter for now, but another push down to 41. It's coming to, you know, maybe even this 55 high. Trying to give a choppy market the ability to chop, right, without getting taken out and still seeing a trade to fruition if it can happen. But it looks like in the 1 minute chart, that was almost like a trend line kind of tested again and holding. A lot more confidence once we get below it, right? At that point, though, we'll be on our way to target. Then I really traded for a long time today. I mean, I am not done an 8-hour session in front of the screen trading nonstop in a long time. That Ninja Trader competition zonks me today. I mean, I'm the type of guy who sits down and within an hour I'm done. Or not, right? Or I'm done one way or the other. That's the way I like it. But trading is so cerebral that all the decisions you're making from today has just like baked me, and I can tell I didn't get to go for a run. All the things. Still having fun performance. It was fun, you know. Fun to do, but just what I missed a $100 payout. I was going from the top 30 at that point because it didn't matter. It was either $100 or, you know, top 30. Top 30 is what mattered to go on the bigger prize pool. Then, okay, $100 just would have made it worth my efforts a little bit today, but that's not even a night out with my wife, so. So $100 is $100, right? A penny is a penny. I don't bat my eye at any amount of money that comes into my pocket. And genuinely, that is I think, a character trait that many traders should have. Stop only celebrating the big wins, celebrate the small. I don't not celebrate, but find satisfaction in, right? Every dollar profit is a win. But, oh man, I came close to popping the top, and I think running there. Not liking what we're seeing. Think they're gonna get me here, and they do. Now I'm gonna assume they're gonna go all the way to highs. So I'm just gonna eat my $260 stop and kind of chalk this up to you guys got the trade. Like, let's go through the post-mortem. I'm not chasing this. This is going to be a stop out for real. But I think it goes without saying that, you know, the trade, in essence, for it, even though that wasn't a break I look for, you know, I have rules that kind of keep me from that situation. The Forcesweep happened. I was kind of taking it on some form, maybe a little bit of a second test here. Well, that's going to be annoying if the original stop wasn't hit. It still goes to target. And for all intents and purposes, I hope anyone that's in this trade still it does, but it does go to target and doesn't hit that stop. That's okay. Either way, I think there's something to be said for whenever we're taking the trade. You got to think about the spirit and the letter of the law when it comes to your setup. You know, the letter of the law says that was a 10-minute opening range break, and it did trade, and it did go to the new low of the day. And in essence, it's the Forcesweep. Spirit of the law and things I look for, wanting to break this range, you know, prior sessions low, get real close below it. I mean, I was close kind of on the figure. It was technically below, so. But we had bullish CVE and some bullish tape that arguably held the market up and had a good shot at having it run up to highs. We would have to go down to lows, then do that again, and actually trade the original Forcesweep. So, say la vie. Execution is everything when it comes to a trading plan. And tonight, it just wasn't on my side. So, Jeremy, I hope you get the NBA Finals tickets here, buddy. Actually, I mean, at this point, I do think it's going to go and give you that if that's the reward you're going to get. So, I'm looking for. So with all that being said, everybody, thanks for joining me here this evening. Wasn't aware for me. I know some of you on stream caught that early one and got a W. Good for you guys. You did trade it well. And some of these nuances that we adapt to don't work out every time. And can, and that's the nature of the game. Good for you. Good for you there, Scott. Love to hear it. Yeah, I mean, when it started to come up, I was just, you know, I trailed my stock because I didn't trust the trade anymore. If anything, I was considering doing the same damn thing, and I need to be more nimble and do that because it is a very valid way I trade, right? Like when this setup I'm looking for doesn't work, it's usually quite reversible, right? Like when the setup fails, it's a big failure. And I think you all have noticed that, and that's why I have an idea called the force push, which is exactly that, right? You get it. except if the back of the view up, and it will sweep back to highs rather quickly. And might just end up doing that here today. So have a great night, everybody. We'll be back with you tomorrow, and as price action evolves. Remember, trading futures involves risk and is not suitable for everyone, and everything you saw here today is just my opinion and not a direct trade recommendation. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe at the non-miss a beat, and we'll see you all tomorrow.